Phil Lesh, the classically trained musician who co-founded the Grateful Dead and whose unconventional bass playing steered the band into some of its most experimental directions, died Friday at the age of 84. Lesh's death was announced on social media, with a short statement reading, "Phil Lesh, bassist and founding member of the Grateful Dead, passed peacefully this morning. He was surrounded by his family and full of love. Phil brought immense joy to everyone around him and leaves behind a legacy of music and love. We request that you respect the Lesh family's privacy at this time. No cause of death was given." Philip Chapman Lesh, the Dead's elder member, was born March 15, 1940 in Berkeley, California. His father fixed office machines and his parents co-owned a repair business. Lesh played viola and trumpet in school but gradually became more interested in composing than in performing. He attended UC Berkeley, where he befriended the even more musically adventurous Tom Constantin, who would play keyboards with the Dead for a time, but dropped out during his first semester. With Constantin, he attended a course taught by the great Italian avant-garde composer Luciano Berio at Mills College, where he met future minimalist figurehead Steve Reich, with whom he collaborated on a musical happening called Event 3 Coffee Break. In 1959, Lesh met Garcia at a Bay Area house party to which he had been directed, according to his 2005 memoir, As If by an Unseen Hand. Upon meeting Lesh again after a 1964 Warlocks gig, Garcia invited him to join the band on bass guitar, an instrument Lesh had never played. Lesh played his first show with the Warlocks at the Bikini A Go-Go in Hayward, California, the following year. The rechristened Grateful Dead became the house band for Ken Kesey's infamous acid tests. Lesh, a staunch advocate of psychedelics as proof of a spiritual realm, was profoundly affected by these evenings that erased the line between band and audience. The Grateful Dead played electric chamber music, according to Lesh, whose primary influence as a bassist was Johann Sebastian Bach's style of counterpoint, the relationship of two independent yet interdependent musical voices. When not dropping his infamous bass bombs, he played his instrument as though it were a low guitar, usually with a pick, and often like a lead instrument. The 60s became an era of intense musical experimentation for the group, most prominently on the band's second album, Anthem of the Sun, where Lesh suggested overdubbing several different live versions of the other one on top of one another and letting them drift apart. "I have nostalgic feelings for that psychedelic Ranger era when we would play Anthem live in its entirety," he told Rolling Stone in 2014. "It was apocalyptic, every time. Box of Rain and Unbroken Chain were warm psychedelic masterpieces among the handful of songs Lesh co-wrote for the Dead. He contributed the high parts to the four-part harmonies the band mastered on Working Man's Dead and American Beauty, but eventually left the singing to others, despite occasional audience chants to let Phil sing. In 1975, he played electronically processed bass on electronic musician Ned Loggins' Abstract Seastones. Although touring had lost its allure, Lesh soldiered on with the Dead throughout the increasingly difficult 80s, when drug problems rocked the band, then into the 90s, concluding with Garcia's death. "Jerry was the hub," he told Rolling Stone. "We were the spokes, and the music was the tread on the wheel." In 1998, Lesh received a liver transplant for the hepatitis C he had contracted decades earlier. The procedure led him to become an impassioned organ donor advocate. He survived prostate cancer in 2006. A one-off 1994 acoustic show featuring some Grateful Dead members was billed as Phil Lesh and Friends, a moniker he would use for performances with an ever-shifting musical cast for the remainder of his career. The group's 1999 post-Dead debut featured Trey Anastasio and Paige McConnell of Phish. Lesh also released 3 albums of jammy rock under the name. During the aughts, Lesh sometimes rejoined his former bandmates in such Grateful Dead repertory formations as The Other Ones, The Dead, and Further, which also featured Bob Weir. In 2005, Lesh published his memoir, Searching for the Sound My Life with the Grateful Dead. Lesh's wife Jill, whom he married in 1984, became a close partner in all aspects of his life. In 2012, the Leshes opened Terrapin Crossroads, a restaurant and venue in San Rafael, California. Their sons Graham and Brian serve as house band, and the bassist himself was known to sometimes accompany evenings of live Dead karaoke. Lesh and the rest of the Dead celebrated their 50th anniversary in 2015 with a series of Fare Thee Well shows in Chicago, joined by Anastasio, and organized by promoter Peter Shapiro. "Phil was like a father to me. I feel very lucky to be able to say that," Shapiro tells Rolling Stone. "It's a good lesson to live life as much as possible because Phil did that, and I am fortunate to have been able to do so many shows together with him, and his magic bass and magic energy. That year, Lesh revealed he had contracted bladder cancer. "I'm one of these guys who's always open," he told Relix in 2010. "See, music is infinite. There's an infinite number of ways to do it, an infinite number of melodies that can go with a 1-4-5 progression. It's absolutely infinite, no floors, no ceiling." Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification button for more trends and updates. Thank you for watching.